I will allow the burial of Marcos sa libingan ng bayani.
After 27 years, former President Ferdinand E. Marcos was buried in the libingan ng mga bayani since his death last September 28, 1989. But why did it take so long for him to be buried? Let us return to the controversy of Ferdinand E. Marcos. Does he deserve a hero's burial?
Marami ang nagmula sa mga short notice na nakapinlay kay dating Pangulong Ferdinand Marcos sa libingan ng mga bayani.
From then until now, the accomplishments and issues of our late President Ferdinand E. Marcos have been talked about. What did he accomplish and do as the President of the Philippines, and it affects him why he should be buried in the libingan ng mga bayani?
Ferdinand Emmanuel Edralin Marcos was born in the town of Sarat, Ilocos Norte on September 11, 1917. His parents were Mariano Marcos and Josefa Edralin and were both teachers. He attended the Sarat Central School, SHAMROCK Elementary School in Luwag, and at the University of the Philippines, he completed high school and liberal arts course. After serving as an ROTC battalion commander, he was commissioned as a 3rd Lieutenant Apprentice Officer in the Philippine Constabulary Reserve while still a student. He met Imelda Romualdez, who would later become his wife during his Congress days. After a quick 2-week courtship, the couple got married. Imelda gave birth to 3 children during this time with daughter Aimee, son Ferdinand, and daughter Irene.
And at this point, let us find out how he came to get involved into the world of politics.
Marcos worked as a technical assistant to Manuel Roxas, the first president of independent Philippines from 1946 to 1947. He served in the House of Representatives from 1949 to 1959 and the Senate from 1959 to 1965, including as Senate President 1963 to 65. He later campaigned for president as a Nationalist Party candidate against Diosdado Macapagal, the Liberal president. Marcos was elected president and sworn in on December 30, 1965, he was re-elected in 1969, becoming the first Philippine president to do it.
And when Marcos became a president, what were his contributions and achievements?
When it comes to economics, Ferdinand E. Marcos instituted the Green Revolution and aims to make the Philippines self-sufficient in food. This program is to boost food production in the Philippines, while local fishermen can also borrow money from the government under the scheme known as Blue Revolution or Biyayang Dagat. There is also Bahayang Barangay at Kaunlaran program for our local farmers. When it comes to health, President Marcos ordered the Ministry of Health to implement primary health care. President Marcos also wanted the Philippines to become energy self-reliable, which is why 20 power plants were built during his tenure. When it comes to employment, the 13th month pay Presidential Decree Number 851, often known as the 13th Month Pay Law, was enacted by President Marcos on December 16, 1975, and applies to the entire month of December. Bridges built and finished under the Marcos regime, including the San Juanico Bridge, which extends from Samar and Leyte and was completed in 1973.
Isn't he a hero in his own right? But despite of his excellent deeds, why do some people hate him and do not consider him as a hero? Why are people so dismissive of him?
I signed Proclamation number 1081, placing the entire Philippines under martial law.
Allegations of murder and false claims of grandeur appear to be a first warning flag, but Marcos was already in it for the long haul by 1965. When he established a tight relationship with the military, which imposed martial law in 1972. Ferdinand E. Marcos is accused of complex human rights abuses and began siphoning money from the government. The Philippines suffered from widespread and unchecked corruption while under martial law, with some estimates putting the Marcos family debt at $10 billion.
And now let me ask you again, brothers and sisters, does Ferdinand E. Marcos deserve a hero's burial after all he did for the Philippines?
Sabihin ng totoo, huwag yung lulukuhin pa yung tao.
I feel cheated.
Is there a law prohibiting a president from being buried in the libingan ng mga bayani due to his misdeed? As stated by President Rodrigo Roa Duterte in ordering the burial of Marcos at libingan ng mga bayani, there was no grave abuse of discretion on the part of him because it was done in the exercise of his mandate. There is also no law that prohibits the burial of Marcos' remains at the libingan ng mga bayani. With that, our crew traveled in Davao de Oro to interview some people who experienced martial law during 1972 to 1981.
Where are you at that time during martial law and what age are you at that time?
Pwede lang ko sa pwes na manturan. Hindi naman ay.
Turmok. Nahuli nagpuyo sa pariwaliwasan. Dito minatrabaho sa Pasaki. Edad ko noon, 29 at meron akong 5 anak. Edad, kuwan, parang 18 ko edad.
5 years old.
21.
What have you experienced or feelings?
After you know po na Ferdinand Marcos implemented the martial law.
Sado nga po sila mga sundalo. Mabaho na mga sayro. Kaya sila kuwan.
Uyo na lang niya sa balay. Hindi naman din maglaan-laan.
Ang mga tao na madlukon sa gobyerno, madlukon sa military, so di martial man, militar law.
Ang ikuan ato martial law tapos dili nila ko ay gusto nila kung magdaot ni Marcos.
Does Ferdinand Marcos deserve a hero's burial?
Yes or no and what?
Yes.
Okay lang ko.
Oo. Sa hero. Dahil marami siyang bukat na mga kaayuhan sa mga labi na sa mga magsasaka.
Buto lang, mahiro siya, kahit ito ang ilong mo naman.
Wala ito ipalubong. Kay kuan man. Ang nili, i-praise lang si Marcos, niya pagkakuan ni Presidente kuan Digong, pag-ipalubong.
We also conducted a poll asking each person if Marcos deserved to be buried in the libingan ng mga bayan.
Does Ferdinand Marcos deserve a hero's burial?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
No.
No.
No. Yes. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Despite widespread protests at Marcos' burial in the libingan ng mga bayani, the law still prevailed.
In a press conference, Supreme Court spokesperson Teodarte said the petitions challenging Marcos' burial had been dismissed and the status quo ante order on President Rodrigo Duterte's intention to bury Marcos had been withdrawn. According to Te, the court determined that President Duterte did not conduct a significant abuse of discretion in his decision to bury the body because it was made in the course of his mandate. The court also stated that there is no law that prevents such a burial due to his credential as a former president, commander-in-chief, and decorated soldier with a Medal of Valor. The court determined that Marcos is likewise qualified to be buried LNMB under AFP norms. He was also not discharged dishonorably. The petitioner's cases, according to the court, originate from foreign jurisprudence and are civil in nature.
Sa wakas, naililibing na siya sa tagal namin naghihintay.
He is qualified to be buried there. Ayaw ng ibang Pilipino, fine.
Many people despise Marcos, but they also love him. He may have made mistakes in the past, but nothing can ever compensate for the good he has done in the Philippines. What we want you to learn in this video is that we Filipinos are still humans too. We commit sins and make mistakes, but that is not an excuse to tolerate power abuse. We must learn that no matter how awful a person is, he has accomplished something good in his life which we should value and not those his issues. Let us be reminded that rather than being issue-centric, let us consider the things that are going right and well in one's life. I believe that what makes it a mistake is that we still believe in the lies that our society tell us that they can even prove it and justify it. And I believe also that it is our choice to be in there. I am your host, Ray B. Esteron, together with
Ingrid K. Empleo,
Iris G. Linjo,
Jebes Di La Samba,
Joey Waneco,
Carl Cris Estudillo,
John Harvin Gomez.
Romian Leones, Abdul Lapanas, and this is Group 4.